All right, we're live.
I see. Hello. Happy Sunday, everybody. We're talking movies again today. I'll let Al reveal the topic. Movies. That's our favorite subject. Certain kind of movie. You excited, Al?
That's yet to be determined.
Let me share a couple places here before we start the show. Is your recorder ready to go?
It's always ready.
Good. Good answer.
I'll just save it on my page, so don't worry about it. I just did it.
Okay. Okie dokie smoky. One thing you could do for future reference is put a subject line, when you share it.
Yeah.
And on the Nostalgic Podblast page to let people know what the topic is. Okie dokie smoky. Oh, it's me. I got it. Got it.
You need to turn that down.
I just did. I muted it. Let's just wait a little bit for people to join. Happy Sunday. Happy weekend, everyone.
Oh, there's Sonny.
Sonny is Al's dog. He's a Cocker Spaniel. There, I'll hold him up. Hey, come here.
Can you hold him up?
Yeah. Hey, buddy. Sonny. See him on camera? Hey, say something. Barking in the mic. Come on, barking in the mic. Yeah. He's a good doggy. Good dog.
Well, I helped in that. He wasn't on.
I'll give you a hint. Today, it's anti-redneck.
Now, what do you mean by that?
Oh, look at that. Yeah. This whole entire show is not going to be something you'd expect. And I don't want to blow the surprise. You ready, Freddie?
I think so.
And towards the end of the show, we got some shout-outs to Giovanni, a chef here in Atlanta. A great restaurant, Backstreet Eatery Bar and Grill in Duluth, Georgia, here in the Georgia area. And I want to give a shout-out to Wizard World for something nice they did for our show. And some specific people there at Wizard World. While we're waiting, I might as well do it now. We're not recording officially. Yeah. I'll do it officially later as my one more thing towards the end of the program. But Mike Gregorek, he's the program director and a host at Wizard World Conventions. Check them out on YouTube or Facebook. And one of the MCs, Jerry Milani, he's really good. And they have like live panels. Like they had one with the Pirates of the Caribbean cast last night. It's free. They always do it on a subject that will interest you. You may not like everything they covered. They've done one on Baywatch. But it's really neat to see the stars. You can interact with them. And it's a lot of fun. And they had me on to promote the Podblast and Talk Land of the Lost. We had a watch party Wednesday night with the cast of Land of the Lost, the Sid and Marty Krofft Saturday morning TV classic that was made into a movie starring Will Ferrell. You ready?
Yeah, hang on. Hey, Chance.
Hey, Al.
What time is it?
It's Podblast time, of course.
I'm just hearing that in one channel.
Same here.
That's weird.
Why don't you start over the recording? You think you can figure it out real quick?
Let's just see.
Cut that and let's get it right.
That's just weird.
That is weird.
All right, we'll do that. Hang on a second.
You never know what you're going to run into, right?
That's right.
Let's see. All right.
Happy Masters Day for those watching the Masters in Augusta, Georgia.
Let's see. There we go. I think that's right.
Very
Now,
good.
You never know what's going on with computers sometimes, but anyway.
So are we going to start over for the
Yeah.
recorded version?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We'll do that.
Cool.
All right. Hey, Chaz, what time is it?
It's Podblast time, of course.
All right. Now we're going. And on today's show, I picked the topic.
You did.
It's a topic that a lot of people may like or they may not like. But, you know, it's something that I've always wanted to talk about. And it's a person. And today
You were due
Yeah.
to pick the topic.
we're going to talk about one of my favorite movie makers and directors, Woody Allen. And
Applause, applause, applause.
You know, he's not everybody's cup of tea. You know, but I've always liked his movies because, you know, when you watch a movie made by Woody Allen, in my opinion, is you feel like you know the guy. You feel like that you're a part of the story because he has a way of, he's a writer first of all, and he writes and directs all of his movies, but he brings you into the story. You know, it's like you feel like you're part of it. It's not like, I know you like the Marvel movies, which is fine. I like some of those too, but they're just big screen explosions and
Like Mission Impossible,
sci-fi.
James Bond.
Right. But Woody Allen is a filmmaker that it's conversation. It's just talk. And
It's real. It's gritty. It's real. It's New
real.
York.
Well, he makes all of his movies because he was born and raised in Brooklyn. And all of his movies basically surround himself in his life in New York, which is fine. But
I was born in New York, in White Plains, New York, for what it's
Right,
worth.
right.
Nobody cares about me, but a little factoid about myself. I only lived there a week of my life and then moved
Yeah.
to Dallas, Texas. Been in Atlanta since I was 2 years old. Anyway.
But I've always been a fan of Woody Allen, and so he makes usually maybe one movie a year, but it's an anticipated movie. Everybody wants to. I mean, you have to be a fan of his movies to really look out for it. You know, wait for it. But
How many movies did he make?
he's made 59.
What? That's a lot.
59 movies in his career.
And we watched a James Bond movie he was in, and he was very funny in it.
Casino Royale.
From 1967.
I said 69, but
Last
you
week.
know, yeah, but it came out in 67.
Right, shot in '66, and it's a spoof of the James Bond movies.
But you
and
know-
he played like basically Dr. No.
Right, right. Well, Woody Allen was born December 1st, 1935. He's 84 years old in Brooklyn, New York. He has some children. Now, of course, he had partners.
Oh, boy.
He had Diane Keaton was a partner between 1970 and 71. Mia Farrow from 1980 to 1982. And
He was with Frank Sinatra previously, before Woody, right?
right. Well, he was also with Louise Lasser from 1966 to 1970. Harlene Rosen from 1956 to 1962. I don't know who she is. And he has some children, but he's got quite a few children, actually. But he's a songwriter and director, and he appeared in a lot of his own movies, of course, in the beginning. You know what his first movie was?
I don't know. I should know that. I'd like to learn.
Watch New Pussycat. In 1965.
Hold it. The song by Tom Jones?
Yeah, that was the title song on the credits of the movie. What's New Pussycat? His first play, Don't Drink the Water, on Broadway the following year. And he made his directorial debut with What's Up, Tiger Lily in 1966. That was his first movie he directed.
What's Up, Tiger Lily? I've never even heard of it. This is a very educational show.
And then,
for me.
by 1969, he made his first big hit was Take the Money and Run. Did you ever see that?
No.
Funny
I've seen a lot of his movies, but I'm not seeing
It's
those.
a funny movie.
first
And of course, he did Bananas. And one of my favorite movies he did was Everything You've Wanted to Know About Sex. Did you ever see that
I
one?
did see that.
Yeah. But
I have a favorite, but continue. I don't want to interrupt you. Just ask me what my favorite Woody Allen.
You know what his breakthrough movie really was?
Oh.
in 1970. Annie Hall in 1971.
77.
Excuse me, 77. You're right.
Because it beat
I can't
Star
remember.
Wars for Best Picture. Kind of pissed off a lot of nerds like me.
It won 4 Academy Awards.
Good movie. Great movie. Diane Keaton's in it.
Well, she plays Annie Hall. But, and Woody Allen that year did not go to the Oscars, even though he was nominated, because he's a jazz guy. He plays in a jazz club in New York, and he plays a clarinet that he learned early in life. And so he says, that's more important to me, is to be able to go and play some jazz. And so he skipped the Academy Awards and went to play.
That's really anti-ego. I like that.
Yeah, no, he's not.
He's an artist.
He's not Hollywood.
Yeah.
Now early on in his career, he was a stand-up comic, and he was on Carson. Carson loved him, but he was on Merv Griffin. He was on Ed Sullivan's show.
Dick Cavett.
Dick Cavett, yeah, he did several shows with Dick Cavett.
I'd love to see him on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, but unfortunately, those are among the lost episodes.
I think those were the lost ones. Yes.
NBC, to be brief here, not to derail you, 62 to 70, early 72, or erased because NBC erased the tapes. We've mentioned that on previous Podblasts.
Right.
And Woody Allen was on in the 1960s as stand-up comic, and I would love to find footage of that. I'll search YouTube as you tell your Woody Allen facts and see if I can find a clip of him doing stand-up.
Well, that would be, I don't know. I would like to see it. I don't think I've ever seen. I have seen Woody somewhere on clips
Of him doing stand-up, you mean?
Right. And but if I had to pick a favorite movie, I'll play a clip from Woody Allen. Was one called Love and Death. Now that he did not film that movie in New York. He filmed it in Budapest, Hungary. Oh, you didn't plug your. There you go. Got to plug your computer up. So, but Woody Allen is, like I said, it's not everybody's taste, but he's.
He did make a big imprint in Hollywood, though, and his movies made a lot of money.
They make a lot of money.
Very critically acclaimed.
Now we'll talk about it. One movie he made that I really liked. I think I have a clip from it. He made a movie called Manhattan, and with Mario Hemingway. She's related to Ernest Hemingway, the Arthur. But anyway, he made a movie with Mario Hemingway, and what happened was, after the finished product, he hated the movie. He just didn't like it. He didn't like his performance in it. For some reason, he just didn't care for it. And that's one movie he shot in CinemaScope. And one thing about Woody Allen movies, did you know all of his movies were the sound was mono?
I did know that.
He did not do. He did not make any movies in stereo,
Except for one.
What's that?
I thought you told me there was one movie that was in stereo.
Well, yeah, Manhattan was a Dolby movie stereo because it had a lot of music by Cole Porter. But anyway, he shot his movies mostly in mono because they were just dialogue. He said there's no need for stuff to be in stereo.
I did find a clip of Woody Allen from 1962 doing stand-up on the Jack Parr program, if you want to hear a little bit. Is that okay?
You can play a little bit of that.
Now, or do you want me to wait?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Wait for it.
Thank you. And as long as you're standing up, I want you to take off your overcoat.
This is Jack Parr, the host.
Couldn't get the music hall, huh?
December 12th,
We
1962.
have a good show tonight. It's really worth staying up for. I wouldn't interrupt the honeymoon for it, but I really think it's worth staying up tonight.
Here, I'll
Let
fast
me see,
forward to Woody, because that's what you want to hear.
Sitting down in the...
Let's see.
What about it? She needed an...
Here we go. I'm sorry, folks. I didn't
That's a chance
pre-screen
on the
this.
computer.
Well, I didn't pre-screen this.
I got a picture of Woody up on
There we
there.
go.
Jane Mansfield was on one night with Zsa Zsa Gabor, and they inhaled, and we ran over, and he didn't get on that night. And every night this kid has been on the show, he's been cut. And to give you an idea, his first routine was about the election. You can see how long ago that was. And I'm afraid he's overtrained. But I want him on in my spot tonight, and I want you to know that not every performer gives his spot to another performer, but I want him to be bigger than I was, even if it means he will never be back. Woody Allen!
All right.
Thank you. It's true that I was booked on the show around 3 or 4 weeks ago, and
It's not my first TV appearance, but I never joined before this AFTRA, which is an actors union. And I had to join it to do this television program. And when you join the union, they make you join, it's compulsory, a hospitalization plan. And it's a very funny plan because it's like the Columbia Record Album Club, you know. They send me every month a list of operations, you know, and I got to pick out 6 for the year that I want, you know. Then they remove from me a bonus internal organ of my own choosing, and
Remember that club,
I get
Al?
a Bach record.
Columbia?
I do.
So I'm
Well,
happy.
I've never been
I
there,
wanted
but I
to
remember.
Use my minutes up here tonight to relieve myself of a sense of repressed hostility against the law. I have never had, this is true, any brushes with the law of
The
major
law.
consequence. This doesn't count. This is insignificant. I was once sitting home in my house, and some cars pulled up around the house, and they shined in searchlights, and I heard a voice over a loudspeaker say, "We have your house surrounded. This is the New York Public Library." They wanted me like to throw out a tale of two cities, you know, and come out with my hands. It was a very bad situation at the time, a lot of smoke and everything, and I was unhappy about it. Now, recently, fairly recently, I moved uptown to Madison Avenue and 77th Street, and it's a good neighborhood. It's a very nice neighborhood, and it's a fun place to live. On my corner, when I first moved in, this is just one funny story, I have a drugstore. And a woman ran in. She was absolutely beside herself. Her husband had reached for the wrong bottle on the medicine cabinet and had taken poison by mistake. That's a funny story. He was home on the floor, like kicking, you know, and turning blue and everything. And it was a real emergency. She needed an antidote desperately, and it was a very tough situation. And it turns out the druggist was Alan Funt.
Candid camera.
Camera, yeah.
He'd have a hidden camera to
Yeah.
film people. Just a little bit more of this, and then I'll get back.
He had her on in the store for a half hour there, you know, with things going. So it's a good place, and it's happy, and very convivial and everything. But because there's a lot of money up there, and it's an opulent-type neighborhood, they keep on robbing us all the time. This is a big problem. My apartment alone was robbed about 4 times in 2 years. And they kept breaking in and taking things, you know, and I didn't know what to do about it. So finally I put on my door a little blue and white sticker that said, "We gave."
Sticker.
You know?
I like that. We gave.
We
The
gave.
man in my building, a Mr. Russo, a very nice man, was held up in the lobby. 2 big guys held him up late at night, you know, with a bottle and a stick and everything. And they wanted all this cash, you know, and Russo, like a jerk, tried to sign for it, I think, for tax reasons or something. And they hit him a tremendous shot across the frontal lobe, you know, and he fell to the floor in the lobby in a funny little crumpled heap. And he's never really been the same since the blow to the head, you know. He smiles a lot now, and he laughs out of context, you know, and he just sits on the edge of his bed and recounts his life, but not in sequence, you know. He knows to say his name if you ask him, but he's not as perceptive as, say, the average tree stump. And he formerly was a lucid type, you know. He would react to a pinprick at least. He was now it's mostly finger painting and connecting the dots and everything, you know, and it's that kind of life for him. And people said to me, "Woody, like, you're slight of stature, you know, why don't you build yourself up in the event there's like a hostile
I heard that.
incursion from the outside world, you could come on, you know." And I went to Vic Tanny's for about 8 weeks. I did, and I lifted, and I bent, and I squatted, and I did everything they wanted, and nothing happened to me at all, you know. And I finally got the
At
idea
all.
maybe I should just give Vic Tanny the cash and ask him to walk me home nights, you know.
He's almost done here with his set.
Now, there's a kid in my building.
He was a great stand-up comic. He was really good.
This is true. There's a kid in my building, a little cretinous type named Leon, who takes karate lessons all the time, you know, and Leon's always walking around with his hand cocked at a right angle like this, you know. He's a difficult kid to reason with on any level, you know, and they said that I should take judo because it's a great equalizer and everything. And, you know,
Judo.
but I'm essentially...
He's a little guy like you.
And
Oh.
I've boiled judo down to the principle that the bigger your opponent is, the bigger the beating he's going to give you, you know? That seems right to me, you know, so I wanted to get rid of it, and that was the end. But my friends told me in the back of Esquire magazine, you can send away for a fountain pen that shoots tear gas, you know, and it's a real pen, and it secretes like a gaseous billow, you know, and it could disorient the dog or something. It's a good pen to have, and I sent away, it came $7.50 in a plain brown wrapper, you know, and for the
Plain brown
and
wrapper.
I put my cartridges in one night and clipped it into my breast pocket, and I went out on the town. So friends uptown were having a surprise autopsy or something. I was invited. And I'm going out for the evening, and I'm coming home by myself at 2 a.m. in the morning, and standing in my lobby is a Neanderthal man, you know, with the eyebrow ridges, the long arms and everything. You know, he had just learned to walk erect that morning, you know. Came right to my house in search of the secret of fire. He had boiled life down to the principle, son good. You know, he knew that, but beyond, like, he was a tree swinger in the lobby there.
Just
you know,
another 30
looking
seconds.
At me,
Yeah.
And I quickly pulled off my wristwatch and dangled
Oh,
it.
he's great.
They
I
are
like it.
mollified, I hear, by shiny objects sometimes. The tick-tock sound is very soothing to him, you know, but he
Tick-tock,
ate it.
tick-tock.
And I was really impressed with it. And I stepped back, you know, and I pulled out the fountain pen, I unscrewed the tear gas pot and pressed the trigger, and some ink trickled on my shirt. And I made a mental note to call Esquire and tell them, you know, because I'm standing in the lobby at 2 a.m. with obviously the product of a broken home, you know. I had a fountain pen in my hand. I tried writing on him with it a little bit, you know, but it didn't know something witty, I felt. And he came at me and started to tap dance on my windpipe. And very quickly, I'm alert, I lapsed into the old Navajo Indian trick of screaming and begging. And he backed me off to the wall, and he started to remove my wisdom teeth, you know. And it was really pressure for me, and I'm trying to reason with him because I'm civilized, you know. And I tell him he's the product of an economic squeeze, you know. And he's hitting, we have steps in my lobby in case someone wants to hit your head on something. It's there, you know. And he's pounding it, and I offered to send him to camp if he wanted, you know, anything. And finally, the police came in at the last minute, and they looked around, and they took his side, which I felt was, you know, an extreme poor taste for that thing. Now, that was my second brush. My third and final was the short one, the absolute worst. Across the street from me is Central Park.
And he writes his own
Central
stuff.
Park is really populated by difficult types, you know, with zippers and sideburns and everything, and black jackets, and they go through the park dismantling social workers and things, you know. And they were doing, Central Park does an outdoor production of Hamlet all the time, you know. It's a big thing. They do Shakespeare under those stars, and they were doing a great Hamlet one evening. And in the middle of the production, these 6 guys come walking through the park, you know, with the jackets and the boots and the whole thing. And they came upon the production of Hamlet, and they grabbed Polonius. And they held his head under the duck pond, you know, that was immediate. And they got Guildenstern and Rosencrantz, and they broke their glasses right off the bat. They're the first. And the
Is he
guy
about to
who was
wind
playing
down?
Hamlet,
Yeah.
you know, felt obligated to do something because he was the lead in the production. But it's funny, you can't come on too strong with them when you're wearing leotards. You know, it doesn't... It's true. Harkin Prithee doesn't cut any ice with these thumpers. Anyhow, the upshot of the whole story was they grabbed Ophelia, but fortunately she turned out to be a cop, so it worked out all right. Anyhow, now I have to go because I have a message in my work if you were listening closely, and that is you should love your neighbor and lay off fatty foods. Good night.
Well, that is true.
There
Lay
you
off those
go.
fatty foods. Did you know that Woody Allen is not his real name?
Yes, I did know that. Tell us what his real name is.
His birth name is Alan Stewart Coningsburg. His mother called him Alan. And so, but do you know how he got the name Woody?
Tell us, Al.
He didn't pick the name Woody. He did, but how he got the name, this is kind of interesting. I didn't know this until I read it. He had a neighbor in his apartment building called Nancy Krishman. And she had a dog named Woody. And Woody had a crush on her, but she didn't care for him, you know. But he liked her dog's name, Woody. So he took that name, Woody, from his neighbor's dog. That's kind of spooky, isn't it?
Well, it is.
But yeah, that's how he got the name Woody. Is his neighbor had a dog named Woody, and the rest is, you know, history. But I like
and now
that.
you know the rest
of the
story.
Do you remember? I mean, I know you've watched Woody Allen movies. Do you remember the first one you ever saw?
Yes, Sleepers.
That was a good one too.
I love Sleepers.
You know, it's funny. I have a lot of his movies, but that's one I don't have. I'll have to.
I'll look
find
for the
out.
trailer real quick of that.
I'll have to look for it. But the movie that, you know, I liked a lot was Love and Death. I watched that the other night. And so I've got a little clip here of Woody talking about the movie Love and Death. Let's just see what he has to say here.
Oh, good.
Read Moby Dick. Has this wish been fulfilled?
Yes, I read Moby Dick while I was making the movie Love and Death. I filmed in Budapest, and when I came back from work each night, there was absolutely nothing to do in Budapest. At the time when I was there, it was a drab city. The Russian army occupied it. So I would come back to my hotel and read Moby Dick, and I finished it, started and finished it while I was shooting Love and Death in Budapest, and liked it very, very much. But I never would have thought I would have loved anything at all that remotely revolved around whaling.
This is from Rohit Sang in New York City. I understand that you are more of a musician than a singer, but when you are in the shower or in the car alone or doing karaoke, what one song do you like to just belt out?
I can sing in the shower, and my repertoire is limitless. I mean, I can sing anything in the shower, and I sing all the jazz and pop tunes, all the Cole Porter tunes, and my rendition of Easy to Love by Cole Porter is probably as good as one could hear in the shower. Outside of the shower, I start to have some problems with reality.
Speaking as a young neurotic person, has being neurotic in life done more good or more harm in your experience?
Well, it's interesting. People tend to think that I'm neurotic, and this, I feel, is a testimony to my acting ability. Over the years, I've played the neurotic, and I played it so well, I think. I'm not a good actor, but that I can do. And I played that one little thing that I can do well, that is a neurotic character, so effectively that people tend to think I'm neurotic in my life, when in fact, the truth of the matter is, if you looked at my entire life, you would find that I'm not really very neurotic. I'm very structured, normal. I have a wife now of 10 years. I have 2 kids that I'm devoted to. I have been very productive my whole life. I don't sit around brooding and contemplating suicide or getting high or dissipating myself. I've been a very disciplined worker. I have my jazz orchestra that requires practice and discipline, and I play with. I have my writing. And I've been able to do all these things on an ongoing basis for years, and a neurotic personality would have trouble with that. So I think that I'm not neurotic, that I'm very middle class, blue collar, beer drinking, television, T-shirt jerk at home, not someone who's ensconced in Kierkegaard or Spinoza, but my image is quite different because of what I've played.
Do you agree with Picasso's quote, "Good artists copy, but great artists steal"? And if so, who have you stolen from?
Oh, I've stolen from the best. I mean, I've stolen from Bergman, I've stolen from Groucho, I've stolen from Chaplin, I've stolen from Keaton, from Martha Graham, from Fellini. I mean, I'm a shameless thief.
I like that, shameless thief. But that's true. He, if you watch his movies, that's true. He get ideas from other great directors. I guess everybody that makes movies or television shows, they do get ideas from other people. You know, people copy this show, as you know.
Yeah, they do sometimes.
They get ideas. But don't you have a trailer for Love and Death?
I do. I pulled it up. Here we go right now.
Great movie.
How I got into this predicament, I'll never know. Absolutely incredible. I, Boris Dmitrovich Grushenko, about to be executed for a crime I never committed. It seems like only yesterday that I was a child, surrounded by my loving family. Uncle Nikolai with his great laugh.
That's fun.
Grushenko, my father, a simple man who owned a small piece of land. I remember having strange and vivid dreams. I grew to manhood and fell in love with Cousin Sonia. To me, she was the perfect woman.
I guess you could say I'm half saint, half whore.
Just hoping I get the half that eats.
Damn it.
Then came the war.
Napoleon has invaded Austria.
Fellas, I'm a pacifist. I don't believe in war.
Boris, you can't be serious. You're talking about Mother Russia.
She's not my mother. My mother's
Russia.
standing right here, and she's not going to let her youngest baby get shrapnel in his gum. I recall the rigors of military training.
You're the worst soldier I ever seen.
The horrors of the battlefield.
Hey, get your red hots.
Get your red
It's
hot.
showing the
Remember my
Revolutionary
brief
War.
but torrid affair with the Countess Alexandrovna, the most exciting woman in all of St. Petersburg.
Here's Sonny.
You're the greatest lover I've ever had.
I practice a lot when I'm alone.
Shall we say pistols at dawn?
Well, we can say it. I don't know what it means, but we can say it.
That's actor Harold
duel to
Gould
the
in that
death
scene.
with the evil Ivan.
One of my favorite character actors.
And above all, my conquest of Sonia. Our marriage was the happiest time of my life, until she conceived the plan that was to be my downfall.
Let's assassinate Napoleon.
I tried to reason with her, but it was no use.
You find me attractive as a man?
Yes, I think that's your best bet.
The rest is history.
And that's Diane Keaton.
Yeah,
I know you
Diane
mentioned that.
Keaton. Love and death.
If I'd shut up, the announcer would have told you.
But that movie, it's funny at the end. I'll give it away, but he gets killed, at the end, and then he's standing outside the window of Annie Hall's house, and he's calling her, and and Death is behind him in the the robe and everything, and she goes, "Boris, what happened?" He says, "I got screwed because he got shot."
Yeah, his humor's not for everyone, but he's pretty clever.
He's a very good writer. I mean, but after his first movie he directed, he says, all of my movies now, if I'm in them, I'm going to direct them. Because he had a special way of how he wanted to do things. And he used, like a lot of directors do, he used his actors, the same ones, and throughout his career, basically. Alan Alda was in Crimes and Misdemeanors.
From MASH, of course.
And from MASH. And so...
on television.
Yeah.
Not the movie.
He used the same DP, the director for photography, Gordon Willis, on all of his movies. Which is kind of... He used the same cinematography.
He's loyal.
Yes.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That was his mentality and his motto.
And what I liked about his credits on his movies, like when it opens up, he just used it. They're typewritten. There's nothing fancy, They're just. And did you know he writes all of his scripts on the same typewriter he started out as a young stand-up comic? He uses the same typewriter
to this day.
To this day, he does not use a computer
with a ribbon.
Yes,
with ink ribbon.
He types on the same typewriter. He still has it. That he does all his scripts on his typewriter.
But he's not neurotic or anything.
No, he said, he says he's not, but I think he isn't some. But he writes all of his scripts on his typewriter. He doesn't have a computer. Or he might have a computer, but he doesn't. He just says it's the way he does it.
Interesting. Interesting. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I talk about throwback.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know that he actually guest hosted? He was a guest host of the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Johnny Carson actually liked him a lot.
Oh yeah.
He was very talented.
If you don't mind, I have a clip of his monologue of him hosting the Tonight Show in '71, and this is from a kinescope, which is a film print
of a
monitor.
Of a monitor. Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah. Go ahead.
And here comes the NBC Peacock.
Let's hear it.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
I love that.
Yep.
From New York, The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. Johnny's guest host tonight is Woody Allen. This is Ed McMahon along with Doc Simmerson and the NBC Orchestra, inviting you to join Woody and his guests, Bob Hope, Coco, Dr. Irwin Stillman,
James Coco,
Kay Hart, and Chief Red Fox.
Red Fox.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Woody Allen.
I'd love to see that whole show.
I'll send it to you.
Is the whole thing on YouTube?
Yeah, in color.
Ooh, I'll have to check that out.
He looks so short sitting at Johnny's desk, like me, like you said earlier.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's not a big
How tall
guy.
is he? 5'2", 5'3"? I'll look it up.
I'm not sure.
Listen.
How are you, my pal? Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
You have not. You've been neglecting us. I thought you'd given us up.
No.
Up for the movie world. You've just kind of disappeared from view. We haven't seen you. When was the last time you were here?
Well, I have, this week I've done a lot of television, but prior to this week I was off. The last thing that I did on television was my own special. I'm not counting Hot Dog, which is a children's show that was on Saturday morning.
Yes.
Kids out there, you saw it. But the last thing that I did actually was my special, which was now, it was about a year and a half ago. It was me, Candy Bergen, The Fifth Dimension, and Billy Graham. We did a show one evening. It was a volatile combination there.
And Billy Graham.
Candy Bergen.
That's Candace Bergen.
The Fifth Dimension, and Billy Graham. And that was the last substantial thing that I did on television. That was
somehow, I don't know, I didn't have to see your special, sadly, but somehow
it's okay.
It was nothing against you. I must have been doing something. I just don't see you and Billy Graham together for some reason or other.
Yes, it was. It's that same kid again, yeah. It was good chemistry, though, because Graham, as you know, or for instance, as you know, I'm an avowed atheist bordering on agnosticism with a strong streak of cowardice in me, religiously, and Graham is a religious man. I hope this doesn't come as a shock to you.
No, I heard that, yes.
Yes, he's a tall, blonde...
Religious man,
attractive and interesting, I must say. When I first met him, I'd never met him until that show. And I found him very persuasive. And after the show, I went out and bought a prayer shawl.
Now that defies believability.
Only because it's not true. But enough about me. This is no time to be wool gathering.
What's interesting, Al, is he went right to the desk. Woody.
All right, ask me anything.
He didn't stand up and do a monologue.
On all the details.
Well, I want to know. First, I've been hearing some wild promos about your movie. A movie called Bananas, is that right?
Yeah,
yes.
Is that from Going Bananas, kind of going crazy? Is that the idea?
No, strangely enough, that's from the Old Testament.
The Old Testament?
Yes, and ye shall go into the promised land, and ye shall take with thee a banana.
I don't remember. I must have missed that page. I was reading Out in the Wind, I think, and that page turned fast.
That's in the Book of Numbers, in the Old
Book of
Testament.
Numbers.
Yes, right after the Book of Letters in the Old Testament.
What does it mean in your interpretation as far as the movie is concerned?
The movie is it's just a comedy. It's just it's over at the Cornet Theater, and it's a comedy. It's I was a big fan of the old time comedy, Marx Brothers and W.C. Fields and that type of thing, and it's just my attempt at that kind of a picture, that kind of broad laugh picture, and I've been working on it now for about a year and a half.
He dresses up as Castro.
Anyone could go see this.
Oh boy.
Anyone? It's a GP-rated picture.
General public.
Yes. That's a good question.
GP not only means general audiences, but with parental guidance.
Yes.
Is that what you
PG
mean by your...
of today.
Yes, it can be seen by
or even
by
PG-13,
parents or children, or parents with children, or parents of children. Parents without children, or any kind of parent, or any kind of horny child can see that. It's actually a family picture. That's the truth. If you come from a broken home, it's a family picture. It's a sweet film. It really is. And kids can go see it. Take the Money and Run, which was my first picture. Don't feel obliged to burst into limitless applause. It was the first
Bananas was his
his
second
movie. It wasn't
movie.
the first picture I did. The first picture I did in my life was What's New Pussycat, which was...
As you mentioned, Al.
Which was, I wrote, but didn't direct. But Take the Money, I directed, and that got an R rating, I believe, at the time. We had
an R?
Was it an R or an M rating? They had a different rating system at the time.
For
and
mature.
We had a fight to get an M rating for it. They wanted to give it an R rating, and it was really, if you saw the picture, it was really a picture that you could bring kids to with impunity. And there was not a single moment of sex or nudity or obscenity in that film, or my private life, for that matter. And in this picture, it's a clean picture, and we got a GP rating. We had to beg for it, but we got one.
Now, how about your play, Play It Against Them? Are they going to do that into a movie?
I don't know. That was purchased a long time ago by 20th Century Fox, I believe, and I never
Now
heard
owned by
about it again.
Disney.
Play It Against Them was purchased before it opened on Broadway, and I don't know.
Is it likely that you would play? Sometimes the lead on Broadway does not play the lead in Hollywood.
I have a feeling it's going to go that route.
Who do you see in your
Great
role?
movie.
In Play It Against Them?
Yes.
The role that I created on stage? Oh, get ready for this. Let me think. That's a good question. I don't know. I think there are a lot of people that could play me easily. Mahalia Jackson would be one.
Mahalia Jackson, gospel singer.
See, I don't know. I wrote the thing for me, and they have had trouble casting. We had trouble getting a replacement for me on Broadway at the time. What have you been doing? Why?
I've been away. I was down in Mobile, have to say it right, Mobile, Alabama, for the Junior Miss pageant last evening.
All right.
Had a great time. I think I'm over entertained. Do you ever get that way?
Me, no.
So many parties. I've been out. They have great hospitality down there. They're great people, and they just turned the town over to me. They said the town is yours.
Yeah.
And being a gregarious guy, I took it.
Right. And what is the Miss? The
Junior Miss.
The Junior Miss.
High school seniors from all over the country. 50 young ladies compete for this title, and they win a lot of prizes if they win. The girl won a $10,000 scholarship, and they usually pick a very, very sweet, very bright girl, and she represents the youth of America. And they're quite good. I think we got very good ratings. I heard the numbers today. We got incredible ratings last night. And the girls are quite charming. They floor you at 17 and 18.
Oh, yeah,
that's how much they know and how clever they are and how they handle themselves.
That's a good age, 17 and 18.
Age. I enjoyed it then, and I've even enjoying it now.
Yes. I just have to break for 1 second. You'll understand this because you're here
every night. Every night. We do this. There's no sense in coming around.
That's the whole thing.
That's what it's all about.
We'll return in just one moment right after this word of interest.
You want to hear the ad?
No,
This
okay.
has commercials in it. Let's just hear the little bit of the first ad. Oh, okay. Listen.
Passing by, catching everyone's eye.
What is it?
Listen.
Dubonnet, the drink for little old ladies who are this little and just about this old. Old enough to share your taste for something unexpected and to understand why we put the cat on the label.
Hello, Tiger. Little old lady mine.
All right.
There you go. All right, so there's Woody hosting
Bananas
the Tonight Show.
Was his second movie after Take the Money and Run. But it's funny. Play It Again, Sam. He's a film buff in Play It Again, Sam. And have you ever seen the movie? No. Well,
Must be honest.
You would like it because he has a projector in his apartment. He's got all these films, and his whole apartment is decorated in movie posters.
Oh, that's cool.
And he's just a big film buff, and he loves Humphrey Bogart. And he's got pictures of Humphrey Bogart, Play It Again, Sam. And so it's a wonderful movie. But he mentioned 20th Century Fox had the rights to it. Well, Woody Allen, his movies were released through United Artists in the early days. And so, but if you buy the home video, Paramount Pictures owns the home video rights.
Okay. You see a Paramount logo?
That's just one movie that he doesn't retain the rights to because Fox bought the rights to it. But for some reason, it's out of print now. But Paramount distributed it for home video. That's
cool.
That's just kind of strange.
We've got some Facebook comments. Brian Barnwell says, "Like 'em all. A warm blanket for me is Midnight in Paris."
Yeah, that's a good one too.
You want to speak to it? I have some other Facebook comments while I'm pulling them up. Why don't you talk about that movie?
I can't talk about that movie too much because it's been a long time since I watched it. But what we'll do, one of everybody's favorite movies is Annie Hall. That came out in 1970. Let's see here. Annie Hall was in 1977.
We talked about that. Yeah.
Right. And so, but I've got a clip here of Woody on Annie Hall. Let's just take a quick listen.
You're a guy who wears many hats, writer, director, producer, actor. Which of these hats do you feel most comfortable with?
I like to write the best because I can do that without leaving my bedroom. I can get up in the morning and roll over, grab a pad and pencil, and write. And so, of course, that's the easiest.
That's right. He writes in bed.
When you write and direct and act as you do in Annie Hall, does that make it easier, or is that more difficult?
No, it makes it easier. People think that it makes it tougher, but actually it's much easier. To have one person in charge of a lot of stuff, simplifies it all instead of having 6 people in charge. So it makes it, it's much easier.
Mm-hmm. You said in the news conference this morning that you felt that your films have limited appeal. If you feel that way, then why do you continue to make them? Certainly there are so many outlets for your talents.
Well, first of all, limited appeal for a film is still more than a book or something else. I mean, I feel that I do have a certain appeal, but I do think I have a smaller following. I mean, I think that I have a nice loyal following that sees all my films, but it's not enormous. I mean, I've never had a picture that's, you know, anything close to, I don't know what to say, The Sting or those kind of pictures. You know, I have a nice sort of steady following that supports me. And it's fine. I mean, I don't, I just as soon have a limited appeal, because that way I feel I can continue to try and do good work and not have to worry about the problem of changing my work to include everybody.
Mm-hmm. And you also said that you didn't really feel that it helps to promote or publicize the movies. May I disagree?
Oh, sure, because everybody
Okay.
does disagree with me about that.
But see, well, for example, this, you know, when my viewers see us talking, and then they feel like they know you then, they really know you. And I think then that sells Woody Allen, and they'd go to see any of your films.
Well, that would be wonderful. I always feel that for me to be on a TV show, for instance, and say, well, Annie Hall is a wonderful movie, or I've tried to do this in the movie or something, is one thing. And maybe a couple of people would go like that, but really what has to happen is the movie has to open, and a group of people have to go see it, and then they must love it and tell their friends, you got to go see this movie.
Yeah, that's right.
That's really the best way. You know, I'm a firm believer in people enjoying a movie and telling their friends to see it as the healthiest way for other people to go and see it.
But I still think, you know, when they see you, and in a casual situation like this, a very informal thing, and then they get to know you, Woody Allen, and then
That'd
they're
be
sold
great.
on you, see, and they'd
That'd
go
be
to
great.
anything you're in.
Unless they take an instant disliking to me, that's the other
Oh,
possibility.
but they're not going to do that. They couldn't do that.
Well, you can never tell. You know.
Why do you feel that TV is soul degrading for you?
Well, I don't feel that. I feel it's soul deadening for the country, because I feel the entertainment shows. Now, again, not the talk shows or news or that kind of thing, sports, but the stuff that's offered to you as entertainment on television. You know, the movies that you see on TV, they take the best movies and they edit them for television. They cut them up. They put commercials all throughout them. And they put on these situation comedy shows and give you canned laughter on them, and the shows are, you know, inoffensive, factory-made sort of shows, and the police shows, and all the stuff that's on, I think is just, you know, it's just so, there's so much bad stuff on, and it's on day in and day out, year in and year out, and it's too bad, because the medium itself could be wonderful if the people that were doing stuff in it would always take it for granted that the audience watching is real intelligent and real high class, and give them good stuff instead of always thinking, well, the people out there are not going to get it, or they'll be offended by it, or they won't understand it. The American public is a lot smarter than the people who run television give them credit for, I feel.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back. I think we have a call. Let's see who. Hello, Podblast. Who is this?
Hey, it's Mark.
Hey, Mark. I saw your thing on Facebook. You said,
Sup Ninjas.
What's up, ninjas?
Right,
What's up, ninjas?
right.
Yeah. So, but good. Nice to hear from you. How you doing?
I've been all right. Yeah, I've had to watch y'all's stuff afterwards because I sleep through it.
Well, we appreciate you watching. Thank you.
Are you working the all night shift or something? Sometime?
Nah, it's just I tend to be up a little late on Saturdays, so sometimes.
Well, yeah. Well, let me ask you something. We're talking about, of course, Woody Allen. Do you like his movies? Have you been a fan of his movies?
Well, I'll start it off with I was exposed to the it was a double album, Woody Allen stand-up comic.
Right.
It's him doing stand-up.
It was funny.
Some of the funny. Oh yes, and it was sillier stuff, and I prefer the Woody Allen, the sillier stuff, like Take the Money and Run.
Right,
It's hilarious to me. Bananas, Sleeper. You know,
My favorite.
Well,
Yeah,
he made funny movies, but he wanted to make serious movies, and I'll talk about. He made a movie called Interiors. It's with Diane Keaton and some really good people, but he wrote it, but it's a very, very depressing movie. Did you ever see it? Interiors?
Yes, I've seen most of his stuff. You know, it's like I say, I prefer his earlier stuff. It's less heady. It's certainly more slapsticky.
Right. I prefer his funny stuff actually over. I mean, I like the serious stuff too. Like I watched a movie this morning before I went to mass. I watched Murder in Manhattan with Alan Alda, and Diane Keaton was just this boring housewife. She was married to Woody Allen, and of course they met their neighbor one night, and they went in for coffee and stuff, and then the guy's wife just all of a sudden had a heart attack, and so as it turns out, Diane Keaton thinks that he murdered her. And he didn't believe it, and it's really involved, and it's really funny. It's just it's funny from the dialogue, but it's a serious subject. But it's a great movie, Murder in Manhattan, and Alan Alda played an attorney type guy that was friends with Diane Keaton, and they were and then Woody Allen says, "You're crazy, you're crazy. He didn't kill his wife. You're going to get us." He was just like he was very neurotic. He was just like he couldn't believe it. And I won't tell you if you haven't seen it, how the movie ends, but it's funny. It's good. It's a good movie, Murder in Manhattan.
Yeah, I've seen it, and I liked, a lot of people, Zelig, I thought was good.
Well, Zelig, was not everybody's cup of tea, but I liked it too. It was really good.
And you have a bunch of movie posters here, Al, for Woody Allen movies that you'll show throughout the show that you took photos of.
Yeah, I got them. They're on the, can you step in there and get those DVDs just so I can show off?
Sure.
They're on the table in there. But no, do you have a favorite Woody Allen movie?
I'm gonna have to. It's either Annie Hall or Take the Money and Run. Just
Take the Money and Run is a great movie. It's his first directorial debut, and it's just I had a 16mm print back in the day, of that movie. But that's one that I don't have now. I have a bunch of his movies. So
I remember buying it on RCA video disc.
Oh my God! Well, I watched Murder in Manhattan on Laserdisc. I have a bunch of his movies on Laserdisc as well.
Laserdisc? What's that?
I know. Well,
Right.
like there's Love and Death. I have that on DVD, which I like. And we were talking about interiors, and this is interiors here.
Al, would you mind showing the front and back, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Interiors. There. And you mentioned Zelig. There we have. I have that one. And
all these are available on Amazon, folks.
That's right. And one that I haven't watched, I've watched it, but it's been a long time, is a Hollywood Ending, where he plays a washed-up movie director. He's trying to make a comeback. I've got that one too. But what
I don't think I've seen that.
That's a good one too. But what I like about Woody Allen, like I told Chance earlier, he kind of pulls you into the story. And, I feel like that I know Woody Allen. I don't know him. I've never met him, but I feel like I know the guy. You ever feel that way about somebody in a movie? You don't really know them.
Well, you probably relate to him. He's kind of an everyman.
Well,
and he's not an athlete. He's not a jock.
No, he's not.
He's just kind of a let's face it, he's kind of a nerd.
He's kind of a scrawny, nerdy little guy. Well, he was a nerdy kid growing up, but he was a very smart kid too.
A New Yorker.
Yeah, in all of his movies, he's never lived anywhere else. Now, he's gone to Hollywood, I guess, and made movies, but he's always centered his life in New York. He's born in Brooklyn, and so everything is about New York, which is okay.
Did he shoot most of his movies in New York?
Yes.
He must have gone to Hollywood to shoot some movies.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Other locations.
Like for Love and Death, he went to Budapest and filmed that.
I knew that, yeah.
So, but, but mainly in New York. That's just
stomping grounds.
Did you ever see Manhattan?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
that's a great movie. The thing about it is, Woody Allen, like I told Chance earlier, he said that, he hated the movie, and I don't know why. And Mario Hemingway, who was in it, she played the love interest of Woody Allen. She was only 17. Woody Allen was 42 in the movie. But they had a relationship, but they didn't have sex. She wanted to, but he wouldn't do it.
It's like The Professional with Natalie Portman.
Right.
Where she played a 12-year-old. Not really, this assassin was protecting her. Anyway, I digress.
Right. I've got a clip here for, talk to
Mark.
To Mark, man. I'm going to look at something here. I've got...
Mark, did you ever see the original Casino Royale that Woody was in as Dr. No?
Oh, yeah.
We watched that last Sunday, and I had never seen it before, and that is a strange movie.
Oh, yeah. It is like the the Bond that nobody has seen.
Yeah, well, I feel like I drank a bottle of that Abstantine stuff or whatever you call it from the Netherlands. Yeah. I mean, it's like a trip. The visuals of that movie are incredible. I mean, and that's out of print, right, Al?
As far as I know, yes.
We're talking the 1967 release, of course, but
you want Casino Royale?
Yes,
it's out of print. Yeah, it's out of print. But you can find it on eBay. They want a lot of money for it. eBay. I mean, Amazon has it for like $59, but that's just way too much money. But I found it on eBay, I think, for $26, something like that.
Joanna Pettit is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Ursula Andress is in it, and it was entertaining, a little different, but entertaining.
Music by Herb Alpert, the Tijuana Brass.
Right on.
Yeah, I like that.
I missed the beginning of the show, but
Yeah.
the overlooked What's Up, Tiger Lily?
That's a good one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just totally, I mean, it was over, the storyline is what? Egg salad recipe?
Right. How does Woody come up with this stuff? How does he dream up this stuff? He must have a great mind. And he doesn't do drugs. Now, one thing, he does like beer. He will drink beer, but
that's a drug.
But he's not an alcoholic or anything. But he's just got a great mind. He can come up with very,
like Einstein.
Yeah, he's just so smart. He really is. But no, I'm glad you're a fan of Woody Allen. I've wanted to do a show on him for a long time, but it
was Al's turn to pick the topic,
and so he's one of my. Huh?
It can be polarizing for sure.
That's true. I mean, we'll talk about that, but to me, I don't care about somebody's personal life. I don't care what they do outside of what they do for a living. I don't care what actors do outside of what they do on the screen. If I like their acting and I like their movies, fine. It's just like a lot of people don't like Jane Fonda. I've met Jane Fonda many times. She's polarizing. I understand that. And what she did back in the day was wrong. I will agree with that.
And today.
But it doesn't affect her acting ability. I still like to watch her on screen, because she doesn't do movies much anymore anyway. But her previous movies, I like. It's just like...
I liked On Golden Pond. I like Barbarella.
Yeah, Barbarella's a great movie. But, it's like, I don't care what Woody Allen did or who he married or what he did in the past. Nobody is perfect, but it doesn't affect his movie making. I just like his movies, and nothing will change that. I mean, I know it's not Chance's cup of tea. He likes more of the Marvel type movies, which is fine. I like some of those.
No, I like action. I mean, if I'm going to pay to see a movie on the big screen,
right,
I want it to be big budget. I mean, I'm not that simple-minded. It's not that I'm shallow. I'm somewhat shallow, but I'll see those movies at home. The ones that are talkies, the ones that really engage your mind, that are lower budget.
Well, that's the
I'll
way
watch
Woody
those at home.
Allen
I'm not
is.
going to pay money. Yeah, I mean, that's just me.
Well,
I appreciate them.
Woody
though.
Allen writes great dialogue, and it's just conversation. What's what I like. It's not no car. What's that, Mark?
Woody. I don't think I've ever seen a Woody Allen movie at the movie theater. I've only
really.
Seen it. Yep. No, never have.
Well, his movies they did well. They weren't blockbusters like Marvel and all that sort of stuff, but they made their money back.
Mm-hmm.
And just like Manhattan.
Home video.
Yeah, well, he didn't care for Manhattan. I don't know why. It's a great movie, but for some reason, he just didn't care for it. And he told United Artists, he says, look, please don't release this movie. Shelve it. I don't want it released. And
I did not know that.
But the Suits loved it. United Artists said, it's a great movie. Of course we're going to release it. We got a bank loan to make this movie. We got to pay the loan back. And so the movie's going to get released. And Woody Allen, he didn't, and it turned out to be one of his biggest hits. Manhattan.
How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's it's not Woody Allen, but along the same line of thinking where the person who made it hated it, but fans loved it. Just briefly, there's a band, King Crimson, the lead guitar player, the head of the band, Robert Fripp. They put out an album. He hated it. He's like, and they would never play any songs off of it. And he's like, well, I guess we'll start. I guess there's people out there that like it for some reason. I can't figure out why.
It's just like I used to be a dailies operator. I worked on a lot of movies, and so there are some actors did not go to daily. They would not watch themselves on a screen.
Harrison Ford would watch the dailies.
You know,
I'm 42. Anyway, well,
a lot of actors would not go to their dailies and watch them. They wouldn't even. Did you know?
What about Denzel Washington, who you worked with?
Oh, he did.
He watched the dailies? Okay.
But, we all remember Katharine Hepburn, the great actress. She never watched any of her movies. She didn't like... She didn't
Kevin
like,
Bacon's that way, supposedly.
She did not like seeing herself on screen.
A lot of actors are like that.
Yeah. Why is that, you think?
Insecurity, basic insecurity, and they think it'll affect their performance moving forward.
Well, Woody Allen
and
didn't
they'll overanalyze themselves.
Woody Allen didn't go to his movies after they got released. He didn't care to see them. I mean, but...
It's anti-ego.
Yeah, but he is anti-ego. Woody Allen is non-Hollywood.
Yeah.
Early on, like when he was on Carson and a lot of the talk shows, yes. But after he started making movies, he wasn't.
That's cool that you can separate the art from the personal stuff. I do have a Facebook comment I want to read while Mark's on the line from Gene Riley. He says about Woody Allen, weird dude, makes great movies, but yikes, marries his adopted kid.
Well, we'll get into that. I mean, but we
had to address the elephant in the room.
Well, I'll talk about that.
That was 20 years ago.
But like I said, I have my feelings on that. But like I said, it doesn't affect me liking his movies. How about you, Mark?
No, it doesn't. I try not to.
And besides, it wasn't his blood daughter. She was adopted. I understand but we'll get into it. But it wasn't his actual daughter. So I mean, but like I said, what people do in their private life is fine. I don't really care. As long as I like their movies, that's all that matters to me. I'm just a guy that likes movies. And I don't
no judgments from Al Hardy.
I don't care what people do in their private life. I really do not care.
As long as they don't murder someone,
as long as
right?
they don't murder somebody and worship the devil.
Or drug them and rape them like people we won't mention that are famous, that are paying the price right now.
Well, that's just,
That's what the law's for. That's what judges are for, right?
Yeah.
We're not the judge and jury.
No.
We're just guys that like movies and TV shows and music, right?
Right. That's true.
That's what the show's about.
Well, it's funny that Mark says he's never seen a Woody Allen movie in the theater. I couldn't wait till the movies came out because I used to work in the theater business. I was a projectionist, so I always got to see a lot of them
for
free.
So you didn't pay to see any
I mean,
of
I
these?
I worked in a lot of theaters in Atlanta. I worked at the Terra, which is on Cheshire Bridge Road. I worked at the Midtown Art
in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, I was manager at the Plaza downtown. So I've been
You
around.
are a movie aficionado, movie geek, because when we go to movies, you want to see the projector. You ask the manager, "Hey, I used to work in a movie theater. Can I see the projector?"
Even though it's a digital projector now, I still like to see them.
Yeah.
Can
I see the movies you have in stock?
But Mark, I mean,
in-house?
you need to go check him out in the movie theaters. He has a movie coming out. Well, let's see. When is the last movie Woody did? I have a list here. I'm trying to see.
I was from a small town, though. So
yeah.
Well,
I watched a movie on.
I can't even remember seeing a Woody Allen movie playing up until The Purple Rose of Cairo.
Well, that was a good movie too.
Oh, it's a great movie.
That's it's kind of like and because Mia Farrow fell in love with the movie star, and so
after Frank Sinatra.
Well, and I'm talking about The Purple Rose.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. The character. I got you. I got you. I'm sorry.
It's it's just and Woody Allen, how he got in the movies. He said when he was a kid, there was a theater in Brooklyn, I believe it was called the Victoria, and he used to go to the movies all the time, and he would actually walk up to the screen and see if it was, he was a young kid, but he would walk up to the screen and see if it was, real or not. It was just, he was fascinated by movies. And the first movie he recalls seeing was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the Disney movie, when he was a kid, and he watched Bambi. So that, he watched movies as a kid growing up, and then he became a filmmaker himself.
Recent days, he has A Rainy Day in New York that he wrote.
Right.
And Rifkin's Festival 2020.
Yeah. So, and there, like I said, I'll go to the theaters if the theaters reopen at a normal,
Well, we've been going, man, here in Atlanta, Georgia. We got the Studio Movie Grill we go to, and shout out to the theater that Bill Tush runs.
Oh, the Sandy Springs Cinema and Tap House.
Yes.
You always say Tap House and Cinema.
I was about to get it right, but you beat me to the punch.
It's just Cinema first and Tap House later. Well, Mark, listen, thanks for calling, buddy. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you like Woody Allen.
Oh, yeah, not a problem. I'm glad I finally got up early enough.
Okay.
Great to hear from you again. Hey, is there a movie trailer of the Woody Allen movies you'd like me to play that we may not have played yet, or not really?
Oh, I like I said, I missed my internet was down.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I didn't even get in till 40. I'll go back and check it out. but-
Okay. We played one on Love and Death. It's a great trailer. So
I'm about to
check it
play
out.
one in a minute, but for Sleepers. I'm going to play the Sleepers trailer in a sec.
All right. Well, listen, thanks for calling, Mark, and thanks for being a fan. Okay, buddy.
Thanks,
Okay.
Mark.
Okay, bye.
Yep.
Yeah, great guy. Well, we talked about Manhattan and how Woody Allen did not care for the movie. He just didn't care for it. Well, Mario Hemingway, who played the love interest, she was 17. She actually liked the movie, and she had this to say about it. Take a listen.
I absolutely loved it. I think that Alex has just created such a wonderful script from... I mean, it's totally different from the book. And don't go in expecting that it's, the sun always rises and it's going to be exactly... Because my grandfather wrote between the lines, you know what I mean? So he would say something and then there was all this description. And Alex really had quite a chore to, figure out what we think that they are thinking or doing. So, and she did it so brilliantly. I really feel like she captured... the essence of the story and got to the core of what it was about, and pared down the characters so that you could deal with what he's in love with this woman that he can't make love to, and the pain of that, and the destruction. And the jazz. I love the music. I just thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, Mario Hemingway was she was really good in it. She was really young, but yeah, she like I said, it's a great movie, one of his biggest hits.
I have the trailer for it if you want to hear a little bit of it. And you know who else is in it, don't you? Of course, you know because you've seen it so many times. Say it. Who's the beautiful actress that's won many Oscars that's in that film?
Meryl Streep.
Yeah. All right, here's the trailer if I'm potted up.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't hear it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, it's going.
Got great music in it.
I hope I don't get dinged for this. I probably will. Oh, God.
No, you probably
He
won't.
adored New York City. He idolized it all out of proportion. No, make that, he romanticized it all out of proportion. Better. To him, no matter what the season was, this was still a town that existed in black and white and pulsated to the great tunes of George Gershwin. Now, let me start this over. Chapter 1. He was as tough and romantic as the city he loved. Behind his black-rimmed glasses was the coiled sexual power of a jungle cat. Oh, I love this. New York was his town, and it always would be.
Manhattan, starring Woody Allen.
Well, okay, well, tell me, why'd you get a divorce?
Why? I got a divorce because my ex-wife left me for another woman. Okay?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
God, that must have been really demoralizing.
I don't know. I thought I took it rather well under the circumstances.
Ooh-wee.
I tried to run them both over with a car.
Diane Keaton.
No. You're much different. You're much different.
Yeah?
Yes, you're someone I could imagine having children with.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, hit the lights. Go ahead. Turn them out again.
Michael Murphy.
You don't want to make a commitment, and I don't want to break up my marriage and then find out that we're no good together.
The point is, what the hell am I doing in this relationship anyway? My phone never stops ringing. I could go to bed with the entire faculty of MIT if I wanted to. It's just, I don't know, I'm wasting myself on a married man.
Mariel Hemingway.
See, I'm glad you could get out tonight, because I really did want to see you a lot.
I like it when you get an uncontrollable urge.
Yeah, I know, it's my best feature.
Meryl Streep.
Hey, don't write this book. It's a humiliating experience.
It's an honest account of our breakup.
Jesus, everybody that knows us is going to know everything.
Look at you, you're so threatened.
Hey, I'm not threatened because of the two of us, I was not the immoral, psychotic, promiscuous one. I hope I didn't leave out anything.
All right, there you go. That's most of the trailer. I'm afraid of copyright. So,
But Meryl Streep wasn't in it very much. In the movie,
I did see that.
They divorced, but Meryl Streep left Woody Allen for another woman, and so he goes to see his ex-wife, with her wife now and their son, and that's what the scene was. She says, "Well, how was my son? Does he wear dresses? Does he play football? What does he do? Because he hasn't seen him in a while,
Of course, the first movie I remember seeing with Meryl Streep was Kramer versus Kramer.
That
with
was a good
Dustin
movie,
Hoffman.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's made a lot. She's a great actress.
And,
don't get me
and
wrong.
Kate Jackson was supposed to play in that movie, play her role.
Yeah.
But she was contracted to do Charlie's Angels anyway, and that's
Right.
why she quit the show allegedly.
Well, you know, we all know, we talked about Woody Allen, and when he was married to Mia Farrow, of course, they had a nasty split after, you know, he fell in love with his adopted daughter. And
Very
so-
controversial.
Right. Well, you know, I've got this little clip, and we'll address it here, and then we'll move on.
Okay.
This is from ABC News.
For the first time in more than 25 years, Woody Allen's wife, Soon-Yi Previn, breaking her silence about their relationship. It's made headlines for years. And tonight, new allegations against her adoptive mother, Mia Farrow. And tonight, many of Farrow's other children are defending their mother. Here's ABC's Ariel Reshef.
The story rocked a family and made tabloid headlines. Director Woody Allen caught in a relationship with the 21-year-old adopted daughter of his longtime partner, Mia Farrow. More than 25 years later, Soon-Yi Previn is breaking her silence in an explosive interview with New York Magazine, saying Farrow emotionally and physically abused her, including slapping her across the face and spanking her with a hairbrush and calling her stupid and moronic. But Previn adds, "I was never interested in writing a mommy dearest, getting even with Mia, none of that." She's also defending her husband of 20 years against allegations he molested Farrow's then 7-year-old daughter, Dylan. Allen was never charged and has always denied the allegations.
He's lying, and he's been lying for so long.
Previn telling the magazine what's happened to Woody is so upsetting, so unjust. Mia has taken advantage of the Me Too movement and paraded Dylan as a victim. In the piece, the author acknowledging she's a longtime friend of Woody Allen. Tonight, 7 of Farrow's 9 children are standing with their mother, including son Ronan, whose investigative reporting helped spark the Me Too movement. Ronan Farrow calling his mother a devoted mom who created a loving home. Adding, but that has never stopped Woody Allen and his allies from planting stories that attack and vilify my mother to deflect from my sister's credible allegation of abuse.
And Dylan Farrow, who came out with allegations against Woody Allen, tells ABC News no one is parading her around as a victim, and she slams the magazine for what she calls a one-sided piece. And David, the magazine says this is Previn's chance to tell her story.
All right, I understand Mia Farrow's disgust with everything, but like I said, it doesn't affect his movies. And I will tell you this: that after that, Mia Farrow won sole custody of their son Ronan, and Allen had to pay $3 million to Farrow for this. And then Woody Allen said, "What was the scandal?" You know, Allen told Reuters in an interview, "I fell in love with this girl, married her, but people refer to it all the time as a scandal." And I kind of like that in a way, because when I go, I would like to say I had one real juicy scandal in my life.
There you have it. So we can move on.
So we can
past
move
that.
on. We can move on. But so that's that's just the way it is. But it's just it happens. Nobody's perfect.
You're not going to judge, that's for sure.
No,
you
I'm
just
not.
want to watch the movies.
I just want to watch the movies, and that's it.
Hey, do you mind if I play a little bit of back to 1971? Woody Allen again, guest hosting Tonight Show with Bob Hope. This is
Fine.
really cool.
Let's see
Or
what
do you
it-
have something you'd rather talk
No, go
about?
ahead.
real
We'll
quick?
do that right now. Go
All right,
ahead.
let's get this out of the way. More to come. Doc Severinsen and his orchestra.
Yeah. How long does this run?
Here it is. I don't know, but I'll cut it after a couple minutes.
We're back. It's funny. I was just thinking about this. You know, when you do the show, they give you notes on the various guests that come out as to what they're doing, and I find myself writing little notes down here from these notes onto the table, because I think from childhood, I'm an inveterate cheater at school.
Perfect, right?
Yeah, and I can't just look at their notes. I don't feel comfortable unless I have a gyp sheet here with all the notes. This next gentleman is certainly one of my great idols. I mean, I spent my whole childhood seeing his movies over and over and over again, and then you'll notice if you watch Bananas how much I've secretly copied and have been influenced by him. He's certainly one of the greatest comedians, I think, has done some of the greatest comedy films we've ever seen. I have to mention that he will be at Harrisburg, Virginia tomorrow, and at Tulane University on May 8th, and that's all I can say. Welcome, Bob Hope.
Thanks for the memories.
I love Bob Hope.
Applause, applause, applause.
We should do a show on Bob Hope.
Did enough for me? I have to say this before you go on. When I was younger, and I used to go out on dates with girls, beforehand, 15 minutes beforehand, I would always think to myself, tonight I'm Bob Hope. And I used to get all the lines and get everything ready and the little funny walk that he does and everything, and, you know, and go out on the dates with the girls, and the lines would come off just as quickly as could be, and I went through the whole evening.
Don't tell me you scored better than I did.
No, I was going to get to that point. Why are you so dressed up, man?
I'm going to the, I got to go right to dinner here for the Dutch Treat Club at the Ambassador.
Oh, what is that?
And, well, it's probably one of the oldest clubs ever in New York. It's a bunch of newspapermen.
Mm-hmm.
And they're giving me some kind of, they give you an award to come to dinner and say a few words, And they're giving me the first Rube Goldberg Award. Do you remember him?
Oh,
Kind of
sure.
all the gimmicks and everything.
Sure.
I think he
The
invented the Edsel, I think. I'm not sure. But they're giving me, and it's some kind of award they built up. But it's an honor, and they're all friends of mine, a lot of friends of mine. Some of them have reviewed my show.
Yeah.
But
do you go night to night, from being honored here and honored there and honored there, because that seems to be...
around this time of the year, you appreciate a free meal. But they have the same thing in Hollywood. They have
that's me. I got it.
It's known as Friends of Jack Benny.
Oh, that great face.
Look who's talking. I knew you were a sex symbol as soon as I saw you wearing those horny rim glasses.
I'll tell you a story about his glasses.
Okay.
Let me ask
you think you're me, don't you?
It's been my fondest wish.
No, he's been on television plugging his pictures, and I started that shit.
That's right. You're the master of the free plug.
Yeah, of plugs. And you were on David Frost's show last night, and you were against him with a big rating. You're going to be very big.
Oh, sorry about that.
Is that true?
Yeah, I know.
No, but you do, and I've been watching you carefully, and you don't know this, Woody, but you submitted a script to me when you worked with a fellow called Rich when I was in radio.
Mm-hmm.
And you wanted a writing job.
Yeah, I wanted to write for you more than anything.
I got his pictures.
Still interested? I may be able to use you, Woody.
We could talk about it, because...
I love this guy. This is one of the finest young talents on our show, but you're a great delight. Believe me.
Thank you.
That's a great compliment from Bob Hope.
There we go. We could stop there, I guess.
Yeah. That's a great compliment. Let me switch with. But yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that. I'm gonna have to take a look at that.
I'll send you the link. It's on YouTube. Just look up The Tonight Show, Woody Allen, 1971 on YouTube. We have another Facebook comment. One of my favorite Woody Allen scenes is the spider in Annie Hall, which you've talked about.
What happened? Annie Hall freaks out. She goes into the bathroom, and there's this huge spider in the shower. And he comes in. Woody's he says, "That spider's big as a Buick." It's a great line.
All deadpan.
But he was so neurotic. He was just like, he didn't know how to kill a spider. It was just like he was scared of it too.
Right.
It's funny.
Now, what about his glasses?
All right. Well, I forget the comedian's name, but there was one of his comedians he liked growing up he's a younger guy, and he wore these black rim glasses. And Woody says, that looks kind of cool, So he went out. He didn't have to wear glasses. He just went out and got some black rim glasses, and that's how the glasses became part of him. Now, later on, he's got prescription glasses now, but in the early days, he just had them just because he thought they looked good. And they do. I mean, those glasses define Woody Allen.
It was just a look.
It was just a look. He wanted that look. And so I thought it was just like, that's so cool how that comes about. There's Woody Allen likes movies. He likes other people's movies. And one of his favorite movies was directed by Martin Scorsese. It's probably the best gangster movie ever made.
What's that, Al?
Goodfellas. Did you ever see Goodfellas?
Of course. Several times. It's a classic.
Yeah, I've got a clip here.
Oh, good.
Where he talks about it.
I want to hear it.
I've got to find it. Let's see here. I'm looking. I got it here somewhere. Here we go.
Now about Woody Allen, I do like his movies a lot. I was going to use your standard line.
What's that?
Yeah, I didn't care for him.
I didn't care for that.
No, I didn't care for him. Yeah. But I wouldn't say that because I do like his movies. But now, when I get around to Star Wars and Star Trek, you got to be a good boy and let me do my clips.
All right, here's I found it. This is Woody Allen talking about one of his favorite movies, Goodfellas.
Goodfellas was a great film. I felt when I sat there in the theater, apart from the fact that, again, it's an example of a superb director making you feel him as a director, because, you know, you certainly are aware of the director when you see that film. But it's like you're there with those guys for the entire 2 or 2.5 hours, however long the film is. You're there with them. You're sitting in those dives when they're playing cards in the daytime. You're with them with their wives. You're with them when they go and dig up bodies, and it's just, you get the feeling through the I guess the talent of the director, how you know, that this is how it really is. He makes you feel that this is what it really is, and it's funny and harrowing and informative and beautifully wrought, and I just thought it was a great movie, a great American movie.
Yeah, my favorite gangster movie is Goodfellas, and Woody's absolutely right. Martin Scorsese, he nailed it on that. And I think probably Goodfellas is Martin Scorsese's best movie. If you don't see Chance, he had to go to the little boys' room, I think. I think Sonny's out there. But anyway, I've enjoyed talking about Woody Allen. He's always been one of my favorite directors, and I love his movies. And I'm going to try and talk Chance into watching a Woody Allen movie, but he wants to watch an X-Men movie. You know, he's into that, which we might do that. So, but we appreciate everybody tuning in. You okay?
Yeah, I just had to use the head.
That's okay.
Just had to take a leak.
Yeah.
Nothing major, no problem.
And you're not even, well, you got your tea there.
Sweet tea, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, but see, Woody Allen is you know, it's a subject that everybody can relate to. I mean, you know, you're not a huge fan, but you know,
But I respect his work.
Oh yeah,
and I'm a big film buff and historian. So
well, you know, it's just like your Marvel movies. I respect they're making they're huge hits. I mean, you know,
but I've collected the comics. I mean, since I was 11 years old. So it's great from my point of view to see these on the big screen done properly with the invention of CGI techniques, and because I couldn't tell these stories properly when I was a kid. It's really, it's like the kid in me. It's great fun.
Right. Well, you know, you've actually you can't see them, but Chance has actually brought me comics I've got on the wall over here. You didn't bring me one today.
I forgot, and I also was going to bring you that article in the. You subscribe to AARP magazine, and there's a terrible article about poor Stan Lee about his final days. It's a 6-part article, and the boss Bruce Springsteen's on the cover of this edition, but it's starting to sell on eBay for decent money. I mean, not decent, not big, life-changing money, but more than the cover price. But really sad about how his handlers were stealing his money. Millions of dollars were stolen from Stan Lee. He was mistreated, abused, worked to death signing autographs when he needed rest. After his wife died, just things went downhill for Stan Lee. Anyway, not to be a downer.
I hope Woody Allen's around for a long time. He's 85 years old, and he's still making movies. You know, besides having gray hair like I have, he still looks the same. You know, he doesn't. You know, it's thin people don't age as. You know, I don't know. He just still looks really good to be 85 years old.
Only good thing about being short is if you look at the numbers and the studies, like short people tend to live longer than tall people. I don't know why.
Well, it's just like small dogs live longer than big dogs.
I didn't know that.
Yes. You know, that's why you have, you know, golden retrievers and German shepherds. They lived maybe 9 or 10 years old, 8 or 9, 10 years old.
Ted Cassidy, the original Lurch in the Addams Family, he passed away way back in 1979, as we've talked about in a previous podcast.
Well, he was a big
of a heart
guy.
condition.
Yeah, because he had that heart, and he had to pump that big body.
Now, maybe that's it. The blood has to circulate. You know, that's a good. I bet it is a heart issue or kidneys or.
Well, I've enjoyed talking about Woody Allen, and he has an outlook on life that a lot of people don't really have the same outlook. He thinks that we're here that life is here for 100 years, then it changes. And then, you know, he's Jewish, but he I don't know whether he goes to his synagogue on a regular basis.
No, he said. Well, he claims to be agnostic. That would mean he's not religious at all. Depending.
Well, we'll close it out. I want to play this. You know, before we get out of here and talk about, you know,
or one more thing.
I want to play this clip from Woody Allen, and he's talking about his meaning of life.
Let's talk about the Macbeth sentence. It's all fury and sound, signifying nothing. Are we all dumb? When did you get conscious about this fact?
I got conscious at a very young age, but it becomes increasingly more evident as you get older that you know, you start to think when you're younger how important everything is and how things have to go right, and your job, your career, your life, and your choices and all that. And then after a while, you start to realize that, I'm taking the big picture here, that eventually you die, and eventually the sun burns out, and the earth is gone, and eventually all the stars and all the planets, the entire universe goes, disappears, and nothing is left at all. Nothing Shakespeare's or Beethoven or, you know, all gone. Michelangelo, gone. And you think to yourself, it is a lot of noise and sound and fury. And where's it going? Not going anyplace. It's going, you know, look, everybody's in the world now, and we're all United States and Afghanistan and Israel and Arabs and this president, the economy, and someone else is saying, I hope my movie is good at Cannes, and my wife is saying, I hope they send my dress back from the cleaners in time when I go to the thing. And then every 100 years, somebody presses a button, and a big toilet flushes, and everybody on the earth changes. Everybody. All the Muslims are gone, all the Afghanistans, all the Americans, everybody on the planet's gone. And a new set comes in, and they're full of worry and anxious, and they're doing everything, and then, button, they're all gone. And then every 100 years, it's like the whole planet gets washed clean of everybody on it. All these people that are making your life miserable, your next door neighbors, your people that are robbing you in the street, and, you know, all gone. The president and the bank robber, and they all out. So, you know, it just seemed like a big meaningless thing. Now, you can't actually live your life like that, because if you do, you just sit there, and why do anything? Why get up in the morning and do anything? So I think it's the job of the artist to try and figure out why, given this terrible fact, why do you want to go on living? Why do you care about anything if this terrible truth is there, this meaningless end of everything? And you have to try and figure out, knowing that it's true, not giving yourself a fake heaven and hell and nonsense, but knowing the worst. Figure out, even knowing the worst, why it's still worthwhile. That's a tough assignment, to explain to somebody why it's so terrible and why it's still important to go on. And this is a challenge for artists all the time, to try and figure it out.
Now, there you go, Woody Allen. The meaning of life to him. Anyway.
I have a review from the great Leonard Maltin I wanted to read. It's really short, like me and Woody, but it's about Sleepers, my favorite Woody Allen movie from 1973. And I need some light. It's just such small print, but Leonard Maltin's review is this. Let's see. Woody turns to slapstick in this engagingly silly tale of a man who's frozen in 1973 and awakened 200 years later.
Yeah.
Typical Allen combination of great jokes and duds, with more sight gags than usual, and an energetic score by the Preservation Hall Jazz Band.
Well, he used jazz in a lot of his movies. He was a jazz aficionado. He loved jazz.
As you mentioned in the start of the show.
He loves jazz, and so he plays the. When he learned to play the clarinet, a friend of his played the clarinet. He says when he was just a child, he says, "Can you teach me how to play?" And so he taught Woody how to play the clarinet, and he's really good now, really good. So, like I said, Woody Allen's a big fan, and I appreciate it. And thanks for joining us today for Woody.
That's right.
Do we have a correction corner or one more thing?
Well, slight correction corner, if you have a
slight correction corner?
Yeah.
And what was that?
Okay. We've talked about Top Cat the last couple shows.
The cartoon
and the debate
show.
was it really a Saturday morning TV show or not? And I didn't think it was, because I knew it aired originally in prime time
right.
on ABC for 30 episodes. And you had asked me in last week's show, what night did it air and what time? And I couldn't find that on the internet, but in my trusty book that I forgot, which I have today, I can answer that question. And you already corrected one thing I wanted to correct, by the way, about when Casino Royale, the original, was released. It was you corrected it already.
I said 69. But
last week you meant 67.
Really 67.
So Top Cat aired September 27th, 61 to September 26th, 62. But here's where I was wrong. Take the call. I would take.
Hello, who is this?
Hi, this is Bernice Jenkins.
Oh, boy, we got a prank caller. This is good. How are you, man? What's up?
You said prank caller.
I'm just teasing. What's going on? How can we help you today? Do you like Woody Allen movies?
Well, I was hoping to see if maybe I could pray for y'all this evening.
Okay, well, we could always use prayers, and I'll pray for you as well.
All right, okay. Bow your head, close your eyes.
They're closed.
Go ahead.
All right. Oh, Lord, I pray that you help these men get through the evening and get off that crack pipe and alcohol and showers and wipe their ass. Lord, only you can give them the strength to bless them, Lord, with the soap and hot water they need.
Wash your ass, like the great Red Fox said. I love it. Thank you for the prayer, my brother.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That made my day.
That was great. That was a good prayer. Wash your ass. Hey, in the days of COVID, that's good advice. But Top Cat, to answer your question, it aired Wednesday night on ABC TV from 8:30 to 9. But get this, here's the kicker. Reruns of Top Cat aired for several years on Saturday mornings, so you and Tom were right, on ABC from October 62.
Well, that's where I saw it. Now,
to March 63, and on NBC, different network, from April 65 to May 69, a long time on Saturday morning. So I was wrong.
Yeah.
Top Cat really was technically a network Saturday morning show, even though it was in reruns at that point.
I had one more thing, but I lost track of what
I
was
know.
going to say.
I know what it is. Do you have the one more thing music, or if you don't have it, that's
no,
okay.
I got it here,
Your one more thing. You go first. You want to talk about Backstreet Eatery.
Well, you talk about that. Go ahead.
All right, when you think about what your one more thing was. But, all right, we had the pleasure, thanks to our listener and friend Michael Hopkins, of going last Thursday night to a wonderful restaurant in Duluth, Georgia. It's called Backstreet Eatery. Yes. And Chef Giovanni really treated us to some delights. Creme brulee dessert to die for. It was the best creme brulee I've had since Panos and Paul's here in Atlanta, Georgia. And they have some Italian dishes. They've got the best hamburger I've had in quite some time. And everything's handmade there.
It is.
They have potato chips that are handmade.
And that soup he gave us was delicious.
Yes. And he has all sorts of wonderful bisques. And I was going to tell you, the burger that I had is called the Patriot. And it's a charred broiled beef patty with mixed greens, like spring salad on top. Very healthy, with a wonderful sauce and hickory bacon. So if you're in the Duluth, Georgia area, please go to the Backstreet Eatery. And then I wanted to shout out to Wizard World. They've always been a leader for 20 years.
I'll hold that a little bit closer.
In the convention world. And with the age of COVID-19, fan conventions and meet and greet with celebrities have been curtailed. But what Wizard has done that's really cool is they do virtual conventions with celebrities, and they're free. And if you choose to buy autographs or even a private one-on-one session, you can do that. I would go, if I were you, if anything, Saturday and Sunday, check out, and Friday night and Wednesday they have rewatch parties. Just go to Wizard World on YouTube and subscribe there, and go to Wizard World on Facebook, and you will be notified when they have a live event. And it's always they had one on Pirates of the Caribbean Saturday night. It was great. They've had one on Baywatch. It's not just sci-fi fantasy.
I did check. I do have some Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Good. We'll watch those. But I wanted to thank Mike Gregorek. He's the program director and one of the hosts over at Wizard World, and also the MC, Jerry Milani. So they had me on Wednesday night to talk about Land of the Lost in a rewatch party and to promote the Podblast and talk Land of the Lost. And there was a guy named Adam dressed as a slee stack. Anyone that's seen that show, it's a lizard.
I saw that, yeah.
A slee stack, for those that don't know, a layman in the audience, it's just like a giant, it's like a lizard. It's actually a little lizard,
right.
A humanoid, like an alien lizard. And Adam was dressed up, and he had the background. And so anyway, Wizard World, go there and support them. And I hope that they'll be back doing one-on-one conventions in person, face-to-face. But the virtual ones are really, really cool, and they're safe. So that's all I had for my one more thing for the week.
Well, I have one more thing. I thought about what I want to talk about. I want to address, we talked about Hollywood and Woody Allen, the movies. I want the movie industry to get their act together. I just, it's time to move on. We have to live with what we have to live with, and shutting everything down like movie theaters and stuff is not going to prove anything except put people out of work.
And theaters out of business.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to put, it's time to get back on track. Yes, take precautions, wear a mask. I'm a believer of that. I wear a mask when I go out. But we have to move on. Yeah. And theaters now, major chains are shutting theaters down. They're not going to reopen them. And it's just really sad.
And it's going to hurt production, too, on the production side.
And you like Marvel movies. Yeah. And now, they're not going to make any Marvel movies until the theaters get back.
No, everything will shift to Disney Plus streaming, which kind of sucks. I like to be in the theater with a crowd.
But who wants to watch one of those movies on a TV screen?
I don't.
All right.
Not a big action movie. But I agree, safely, there's a way to do this with social distancing. You got to give people the choice.
Now, we go up here to the Studio Movie Grill, and they're very clean. I mean, they're very precautious. All the employees wear a mask. They don't require you to wear one, but we wear one going in because you can't wear a mask and drink a Coke and eat popcorn. And so, it's reserved seating, so you can pick where you want to sit. You don't have to sit next to anybody. They won't put you next to anybody. In fact, when we bought tickets, when we went and saw what was it, the Liam Neeson movie?
Oh, that was part of my one more thing. Yeah. Honest Thief.
They actually put us a seat apart. If you looked at the way they do it, well, of course we sat next. But
so we went with Michael Hopkins.
Yeah, Michael Hopkins, and so they're go to the movies, support the cinemas, because if you don't, they're going to be gone.
They're going to be gone, man. They're going to be gone.
Don't be look. If you can go to the grocery store, if you can go to Walmart, you can go and sit down in a movie theater and watch a movie.
And there's so much crazy stuff going on in the news. It's great to just escape. And movies with some hot, fresh popcorn. And did you like Honest Thief? I did. Did you like it?
Yeah.
Tell people the plot, if you don't mind, real quick.
Well, the plot was Liam Neeson's one of my favorite actors. He plays a bank robber.
A serial bank robber.
And he's an ex-Marine and an explosive expert.
Demolitions.
Demolitions. So he could go and blow up a vault and be in and out quickly and take a lot of money. And over the 6-year period, they called him the in-out bandit. That's why, the media, the police called it the in and out, because he was in and he was out. But over a period of time, he stole $9 million. But he had he didn't spend a penny of the money he stole. He didn't spend any of it. It was just the thrill of robbing the bank.
He put it in a storage locker,
He put it in a storage unit.
In suitcases.
And so the storage unit, he met this woman who managed the storage unit, and he
fell in love.
They fell in love and became an item. Well,
it flashes forward a year later after they meet.
So he decided to go straight. So he called the police and the FBI and said he was the in-out bandit, because none of them believed him. He says, they said,
and it's like the Unabomber, a legend. Like they never have caught him. Right. They never had a good lead to catch this guy.
Yeah, and so they didn't believe he was the real
Thief.
In and out
bandit.
And so
and he hated that term. His character goes, "Why did you guys call me the in and out bandit?"
And then they finally, the FBI sent 2 guys over to his hotel room, and he gave him the key to go to the storage unit. He says, in that storage unit, there's $3 million.
No, he says 9.
He said 9, but he only had...
He had 3 stashed there that they found.
That one. And so anyway, they went to the storage unit, and they were looking through the boxes and found books and stuff like that. And so they went to one box and pulled out the books, and there the money was, $3 million.
And that's where the corruption comes in.
And the corruption started because these 2 FBI guys said, this is our retirement. And so...
Actually, it's one. One rogue FBI agent persuaded the other one to do it. The other one was reluctant.
He's reluctant. But then the whole movie becomes a cat and mouse thing. And so, and it's highly entertaining. And so I recommend the movie. I won't tell you how it ends, but throughout the rest of the movie, it's him trying to catch them and them trying to catch him.
And they're trying to get rid of evidence and murder witnesses and the FBI guys.
Right. And actually the storage unit, they had video of the guys putting the boxes of money in their back of their car, their squad car. But anyway, and so...
Evidence.
And there was a guy who played their boss. You know his name. He's from Marietta, Georgia.
Patrick. Mr. Patrick. He was best known for Terminator 2. That was his big break as the killer. And he was in Identity Thief playing the bounty hunter.
Right. And
from Marietta, Georgia.
But he was in the movie also, and he plays their boss. But yeah, it's very entertaining and it's nail biting, and so. But if you like a cat and mouse chase and you like Liam Neeson, then it's your cup of tea.
And the funny thing about Liam Neeson, he's very anti-gun, but my God, there's so much gunplay in this in all his movies. That's the funny thing. But again, like you said earlier with Woody, you can separate the art from the personal.
I might not like him personally, but I like his movies. So that's what matters to me. If I can be entertained by them. And I get my $5 or $6 worth. And the Studio Movie Grill has $5 tickets. I mean, you can't really afford to pass up a new movie for $5. You know?
That's right. And also, I want to wish everyone happy Thanksgiving. We may do a show next week, maybe not. Don't know yet. It's we got some birthdays coming up. It's Al's birthday later this month in November. So happy birthday, Al. If I don't see you, I'm sure I'll see you personally, but show-wise, happy birthday to you.
Thank you. And I hope your mother's watching.
She probably is. Why?
You're going to bring me some food, right?
Oh, on Thanksgiving.
That's just a good cook.
Robert Patrick is the actor. Couldn't remember his first name. Anyway, from Marietta, Georgia, that we were just talking about.
Good actor. He was also, he played in the movie I'll Walk the Line with Joaquin Phoenix, the story of Johnny Cash.
Mm-hmm.
He played Joaquin Phoenix's dad, and he was mean. Oh, he was mean. But he's a great actor from Marietta.
Yes, he is. All right. Well, we got some good topics coming up, like the Three Stooges. I can't wait to do that show. And also one on the television miniseries, the epic television miniseries and TV movie like Shogun, like Roots, that sort of thing. Play a lot of clips of that.
I remember Shogun. That had
Robert Chamberlain?
Richard Chamberlain. He played Dr. Kildare.
Yes. And then you had Ben Casey on against him. I mean, opposite him on another network. Same type of show. But
I've got some Ben Casey shows on film. I didn't care for that show too much. It was okay.
Yeah.
Dr.
Kildare.
Yeah,
he was the kinder. And then I'm going to do one. I haven't discussed this with you yet, but I think a good topic would be the lame spinoff, like the girl from Uncle. There's a whole bunch of them. I won't go down the list.
Well, we can incorporate those other ones, other spinoffs.
Yeah, but I wanted to. We could do that. All right, we'll talk in our meeting about that. I was thinking of bad spinoffs. There's a whole bunch I have written down. But cool. Well,
all right. Thanks for watching and thanks for tuning in. We have to get out of here.
Yeah, we do. We're going to go watch some movies in Al's theater, which you call Hardy Vision.
Hardy Vision. Have a good rest of your day.
Have a great week.
Okay, bye. You're back on.
Hey, we're hanging with you just for another minute or so. I was kind of reluctant about this topic, but it was a great show, I think. I learned a lot, and I love seeing Woody on The Tonight Show. Those clips are awesome of him hosting The Tonight Show, and it's such a shame that all of those stand-up appearances are lost because NBC erased those tapes in the 60s from 62 to 72. Don't you think?
That's really a shame.
I mean, there's not just Woody. There's so many great musical acts. And is our okay? I'm seeing a delay. Okay, gotcha.
Well, it takes it 30 seconds to switch back
I saw
over.
our card up. See you next week. That's cool.
Well, now we're back up.
Yeah.
I got to save this.
And right now, I was going to say, this would have pissed Al off. I was going to say towards the beginning of the show that today we're talking about someone that's very, very polarizing. You either like him or you dislike him. That's right. I'm talking about Woody Allen. I wanted you to think it was a past president or a current. No. And then also I was going to say something else that would have ticked you off.
What show number is this?
46. Let me double check that. I think it's 46.
What are we going to do for the 50th show?
I already have that. Well, we'll discuss it because it's. I'm not a dictator. I'll run it by you. I have an idea. I don't want to say right now.
Yeah. I'm saving the show.
Okay, cool. So, what was another thing? That call. How about that call? That prayer. That was funny. Red Fox did a funny comedy bit called "Wash Your Ass," and that reminded me of that. And he says, "Go to bed damp." He did it, and back in '83, there was a concert he did in Vegas at Caesar's Palace.
He was pretty nasty.
He was very blue comedian, but very talented. I miss him.
Well, what was the?
You got to wash your ass.
Ann Esther, she was a stand-up comic.
LaWanda Page, the great LaWanda, and she was attractive when she was young. You know that?
No,
because on Sanford and Son, he always played jokes about her being so ugly. And there's a scene in one Sanford and Son where he rips her wig off, and she looks like buckwheat underneath. It's just hilarious.
I love her. She was funny.
She was funny as heck.
Yeah,
but I'm really it was so fun doing that thing with Wizard World. I see your audio is saving right now.
Yeah.
And I'm serious. This isn't a commercial for them. They really do a great job. I was really impressed with their Pirates of the Caribbean live cast
I didn't
reunion.
see it. I watched the one with you, but I didn't watch the other ones.
Well, there's topics that you'll be interested in. They do. They cover everything. They cover a lot. Wizard World on YouTube and Facebook. God, what was the other thing? There was another. Oh, hell, I'm having a brain toot. There was another line. Oh, well. Maybe it'll come to me before we sign off right now. Another line I was going to say on the show that I thought would tick you off. Oh, yeah, I remember now. I was going to say, folks, when Al said he wanted to do a show about Woody Allen, I thought, oh, my God, this is going to be more boring than listening to the Masters on radio.
Well, golf to me is boring anyway. A lot of people love it, but I just don't care for
But listening to it, I don't mind watching it, but listening, because actually there are stations that have it on the radio. Just listening to the play-by-play. Yeah, there is. On the Masters, there is. The Masters you can find on the radio, whether it's satellite or terrestrial.
I do like putt-putt.
CBS Radio. Yeah.
I like putt-putt.
I do too. I always liked it. He ever played golf?
No, I've never played golf. I don't remember.
I remember in high school we had recreational games, and we played golf
in high school.
Yeah.
Played putt-putt, but that's it.
I loved putt-putt.
No, it's funny. Chance and I, he came over here today, and we got into a little bit of a argument. just like, but it was a constructive argument. He wasn't real keen on Woody Allen, and he wanted to open up with what a creep he was. And all
no, not a creep. But no. I just want to do that bit I already talked about how today we're going to talk about someone you either love.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the word hate. I think there's strong with someone you love or someone you dislike. That's right. We're talking about.
But everything's cool. It worked out. Yeah. I mean, we went an hour and 37 minutes.
And you kept saying we can't talk 90 minutes about Woody. I said, trust me.
I mean, once I got going,
I'm a damn motor mouth
because I like Woody Allen.
You know me, man. I got diarrhea of the mouth, and people say you just like to hear yourself talk. And no, I don't. I hate my damn voice. The Wizard World people joked. I think they were joking. They said, "Hey, we're going to have you voice a promo for us."
I can do
and I
that.
said, "I would." I didn't say this because I was thinking it. Well, Al should do it because you're the voice of the team.
I can do that.
Yeah, of the three of us, you're the voice of the team. You're the good voice and the professional. You only did this for like 30. What? How many years have you been in radio since 1981?
When I was 19.
Yeah, and at TZA,
long time. Yeah,
TZA, you ran things. You kind of got pissed at me one time on the show where I said, "This is my producer, Al Hardy, and co-host." You didn't hear me say co-host. You thought I just said producer, and you go, "Now wait a minute, this is on live radio." He goes, "I am not your producer," and I said, "No, I know it's a term because you are producing."
That did anger me. It's just like,
man.
I get over things. I mean, it's just like,
Now, today
we wouldn't be together if we didn't get along.
That's right. We've been friends a long time. Oh, since we met in the radio biz.
Right.
I was going to say, or ask you, what movie are we going to watch? I brought one I want to see that's only an hour and 40 minutes long, but We can do a double feature because you always accuse me of picking all the movies to watch.
Well, you know,
and being a program director.
He's a good movie buddy. Don't get me wrong, but you know, he brings these movies over and says, well, we need to watch this. You know, okay, but you know, I like to pick out movies every once in a while.
I typically do pick a Marvel or action movie because you have that big screen down there and it just those explosions and the action and the sound. You have a killer sound system.
That's true.
4K.
But, you know.
Well, what do you have on tap? Can I pick? It's got to be a Woody Allen movie, right?
Well, we can watch since we talked about him.
That's fine.
We can watch both, but
can I pick the Woody Allen movie, or do you have one that you want to show me?
I'll let you pick it.
Okay.
And we talked about Manhattan if you want to see that, but you know, it's just you pick it out.
All right.
And think about Woody Allen movies. They're short. They're only 90 minutes.
Good.
One movie's only 85 minutes. So
let's watch the shortest one.
No, that's
and then my movie. Look, you got on the wall some X-Men comics. I brought X-Men The Last Stand. It's the last one where they get cured of being mutants, okay? I'm very shallow today, but can we watch that? If we watch a Woody Allen? It's only an hour and 40 minutes. It's not no 2.5 hour thing. Look it up on the internet.
Let me show the comics.
Yeah, show the comics on the wall.
Turn the camera around.
Okay. Oh, don't screw the camera in this shot. Okay.
Let's see if I can do this.
There's an X-Men right there I gave you with the Brood.
Yeah.
And then Wolverine 1.
Then I got some up there.
That's cool. Look at that.
See?
Yeah, look at that.
Up there with...
Here, I'll point to him.
Yeah.
Can you see that by the clock?
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yep.
Wish we could zoom.
No, I can't zoom. They're up there with Don Imus. Here's Don Imus. But, yeah.
I got a text. My mom is watching, and she says Turkey Day food for Al. It's coming right up.
Yeah, those are the... There's a picture of me in radio a long time ago.
I wonder if Wizard World really... Oh, look at you there.
Yeah.
You once had dark hair. I knew that. I'm just teasing.
We all had dark hair at one time.
You had hair that looked like Sonny's.
Let me turn the camera.
Get that camera angle right again.
No, I get it back.
I mean, no, I'm not being bossy. I'm saying I hope you can. I know you can.
There we go.
Sometimes I come off as bossy. It's just the way I am. I don't mean to be that way.
There we go. Okay. There we go.
It came out good. All right, well, I guess we'll sign off. Let's start watching the movie before it gets too late.
What time is it? It's 5:30. Jeez.
That's early.
It gets dark by 5:45.
It's not dark yet.
Yeah, it's getting dark.
Three Stooges.
Well, I don't know. We'll do that one day. I don't know when we're going to do it, but anyway, we will.
No, I worked on a Three Stooges movie for like 15 days. The one they shot here in Atlanta.
That movie was awful. That movie just sucked. I'm sorry.
Fairly Brothers, you don't like their movies? You didn't like Kingpin?
Well, you know, I just like the Three Stooges, and I don't know. I just didn't care.
But we should say our names on the show. Al Hardy.
That's
and
me.
I'm Chance Bartels. Mm-hmm. And I worked on a lot of movies as an extra, and I did get an agent, and I've done some speaking stuff, some real roles on shows like It's Supernatural, thanks to friends of mine in the Atlanta area. But I worked on a lot of sets, whether it was an extra or whatever, and we'll talk another time. Of course, Walking Dead, working with a squib, getting shot in the head. That was a hell of a lot of fun, happy memory. And the Three Stooges movie was fun, but it was hot as hell. We were at a mansion near the governor's mansion here in the Atlanta, Georgia area on Paces Ferry, and it was outdoors. It was a party scene. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, was it hot? And I had to wear like a camel hair jacket. Anyway. All right. Enough.
We got to go. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Next time. Maybe Sunday we'll figure it out. Or the following Sunday. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Goodbye.